The NHL draft lottery is really odd. Okay. It was like they do a couple practice runs. Nobody can go more than 10 spots. And it's like, it's weird. It's confusing. This live show was pretty confusing. Just a bunch of people reading off the teleprompter. It was odd. But the Bruins go into this with a fair shot at the number one pick in the draft at 8.5%. It's not nothing. But the worst they can do is 7th. You're like, okay. I think the 4th pick was the only one they couldn't get. So it's like, all right, they can still get in the top 3 here. You're thinking this is where it's all going to pay off. Watching that dog shit hockey for the entire season, this is where it's going to pay off. They're going to get a top 3 pick. They're going to get one of these great prospects, Michael Misa, Matthew Schaefer, maybe even James Higgins from BC, who would get a lot of the local people really hyped up. Worst they could do was 7th. The Boston Bruins are picking 7th in the 2025 NHL draft because of course they are. It's a Boston team in the draft lottery. Of course they got boned. And I wouldn't have even been that mad at it outside of the fact that a team with like a 2% chance to get the number one pick in the draft did jump 10 spots. You can't jump more than 10 spots, but you can jump 10 spots. 11th of the lottery was the New York Islanders, and they are picking number 1 in the draft. The Islanders. How do they get that kind of luck? What are you kidding? And here the Bruins are sitting at 7th? You're not getting a generational guy at 7. You can maybe get a good player at 7. But you're not getting like this guy is going to transform our franchise in the next couple of years kind of player. You're just not. And I was so dejected seeing them get the 7th pick to the point where I was like, here we go. Like, it's going to be another year of this spinning wheels thing. They really should go out and get Mitch Marner, but I bet they won't. Because what have they shown to us ever that shows that they're going to go out and get Mitch Marner, even if it makes a ton of sense? They're not going to do it. They're going to sign John Beecher to a fucking 3-year deal at like $1.5 million a year. They're going to re-sign Jacob Lauko 2 years, $1.25 or $1.25. It's like they're just going to pull off these moves like this, and they're going to reach on someone at 7. They're going to pick whoever the big board has at 15 because he's a center that's a little big. But you look at the top prospects in this draft with Misa and Schaefer and Porter Martone and James Higgins. They're not going to get any of those guys. They're all going to be gone. At best, they'll get center number 3 on the big board at number 7. Bleacher Report already did a mock draft right after the lottery. They've got Jackson Smith, defenseman from the WHL, a good skater, puck-moving guy, not huge. That's who they've got as their guy at number 7. Right behind him, Carter Bear, left winger from Everett in the WHL. I actually don't mind the Bear pick if you're going to do that. Like, you obviously need a center, but at 7, I'm like, man, just pick the best guy. And to give you kind of a glimpse of what kind of prospect you're looking at 7, Carter Bear is ranked 8th in this, and the comps he has are Seth Jarvis and Logan Stankoven. Good players, no doubt. And both are playing in the playoffs tonight, right? Jarvis and Stankoven with Carolina. But that's not the guy that gets you to the playoffs next year. He's not the guy that's like one of the pillars of your franchise for years to come, and you're a Stanley Cup contender. You get a nice player out of that. And maybe you could trade it for Mikko Rantanen at some point, like Logan Stankoven. But that's what you're dealing with here. And it's just more rotten luck after a shit season. And what I hate the most about it is it's just because of the way we're all reacting to this, it's just a built-in excuse for Don Sweeney and Cam Neely. For next year or the year after, whenever they're doing, or 5 years from now, when they're both still there and they're doing an end-of-season press conference and Kevin Paul Dupont is asking, hey, the guy you picked at number 7 in 2025 hasn't really panned out. Well, how do you expect to get anyone outside of the top 5? Look where we've been picking in the draft. It's just another built-in excuse. I wouldn't mind Carter Bear. Jake O'Brien is the next best center, probably. OHL guy, not a good skater. which is not necessarily something you want from your 200-foot center, but is a good playmaker, was captain of the team up there. And he played for Brantford and scored 11 points in 11 playoff games, 98 points in 66 games. Like, you can use that. You can use that. By the way, 66 assists in 66 regular season games. Like that, you're not going to knock him for the pick at the time. You just don't get the number 15 guy on the board. But man, just what another rotten experience for Bruins fans this year after that shit season and after the horrible roster mismanagement and everything that's gone on over the last 2 years, to see a team like the Islanders, who were somewhat in the playoff picture up until the last week of the season, get the number 1 pick in the draft while you're sitting there with your dick in your hand holding the number 7 pick with no offensive skill on this team outside of David Pastrnak. And you're like, you've got to be kidding me. Now, the good news is the Bruins finally have some draft capital. They've got 2 first-round picks. They've got a bunch of seconds over the next couple of years. There's a package you could dangle in there to potentially move up in the draft. We will see if Don Sweeney is so bold. He hasn't been so bold since his first draft, which apparently he was not equipped for a month before the draft, becoming the GM, getting promoted from assistant GM to the GM, because he made a couple of moves to get those 3 straight draft picks in the first round. We don't need to relitigate how dog shit that was, and that they've hit on really 1 first-round pick in the Don Sweeney era, and that was Charlie McAvoy, a guy playing in your own backyard. But he has made some moves before. Let's see. Potentially they can move up in this draft, but 7 is not going to inspire anybody at this point. But we'll keep an eye on this throughout the offseason here, the draft season, what prospects they're going for, how detrimental it can be to be at number 7 rather than number 3 or number 5. It could be big-time news for the Bruins in the short term, and I guess therefore the long-term future of this team and this prospect pool. But let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. How shitty an ending was that after such a bad season to get the number 7 pick in the draft? And again, if they had just lost in regulation against Jersey, I think they would have been a top 5 team no matter what. But here you are, picking at number 7. So anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, completely free, helps out this channel a lot. We're bringing you nothing but Boston sports content 5 days a week, so you don't want to miss any of it. We are on the march towards 4,000 subscribers. Need your help in getting there. You can also check out the other videos on the channel. You can find us wherever you find your podcasts, and of course on YouTube 5 days a week. I'm your host, Cam Stewart. Zach Burke keeps us on the air. We will see you tomorrow on a little ditty that we like to call The Cam Show.